This is how I made $1,000 trading NFTs in my first week. But before we get into the video, please consider hitting the like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribing. It really helps out the channel. And with that being said, let's get into the video. To start off, what is an NFT? Well, if you don't know what an NFT is, you've probably been living under a rock because pretty much everyone knows what an NFT is nowadays. But for those of you that don't know, an NFT is considered a non-fungible token, and what that actually means is that it is a unique and non-interchangeable unit of data stored on a blockchain or a form of a digital ledger. Essentially, what they are their digital assets that are stored on the blockchain that allow you to retain ownership. So NFTs can be associated with reproducible digital files such as photos, videos, and audio. And what we've seen so far really with NFTs is picture projects. So that's kind of what we know and what we've seen so far, and that's actually how I made my money. So the way I actually made $1,000 trading NFTs my first week was actually by minting an NFT and then flipping it. So for those of you that don't know, minting refers to the process of turning a digital file into a crypto collectible or digital asset on the Ethereum blockchain, or any blockchain for that matter, whatever blockchain the project is run on. And so I found this project, I decided that I wanted to mint it and get my own, ended up getting pretty lucky with a rare NFT, and then I ended up flipping it for about 4 to 5 times its original value. So the project that I actually minted was called Astroheads, and the way I actually found it was through another YouTuber, and his name is Brett Malinowski. I hope I'm saying his name right, but I'll put his YouTube link because I definitely think that you guys should check him out. And so this specific project, I really didn't know anything about. He said that the project was minting soon. That's all I pretty much knew. I didn't know how to do due diligence at the time. Super important, definitely do that. And I highly recommend not doing what I did in terms of not doing any research beforehand. But if you do come across a project that is minting, I highly suggest going to the actual website, reading some of the information about it, and definitely checking out the roadmap. So the roadmap for Astroheads was actually kind of interesting. I didn't really know anything about it. Granted, I didn't know what a roadmap was at the time, but it'll basically tell you what the project is looking to do, what they are doing right now. And so at the time, pre-mint, they were building their community, they were launching a giveaway, doing a bunch of partnership stuff, and that was pretty much all of the information right here. And I literally found out about them, I think it was like 2 days before the mint date, so around, early November, first half of November. The project itself ended up selling out. I think I got one that was in the like 6,000s, so I was actually pretty late. I got really lucky, it sold out, but gas fees weren't too high. Gas fees are I'll talk about that in a second. But gas fees weren't too high. I ended up paying around, I think, the mint price was about 0.65 Ethereum, and that translated to about $300 to $400 with the gas fees. In total, it was about $400 to $500 for the NFT, and obviously it sounds like a lot, but in the world of NFTs, that means absolutely nothing. And so, I really didn't know much about it. I started learning about graduation, which I'm still pretty confused about, which it's kind of irrelevant to me. I already sold my NFT. But again, when you're looking for projects, definitely look at the roadmap, make sure that it's something that you think is interesting and something that you want to be a part of, and then go from there when actually determining whether or not you want to join the project. And so the way that you actually sell your NFT is by going onto OpenSea, which is actually a secondary market for NFTs. You can actually buy NFTs directly from creators, but you can also resell your NFTs here. And so we can see what the floor price is right now. It's about 0.039 Ethereum. And I believe the time that I sold mine was about 0.1 Ethereum. So obviously the project hasn't been doing too great since then. And I got relatively lucky. I managed to sell mine right before the floor essentially went down a lot. So I got really lucky. Like I said before, I minted mine for about 0.065 Ethereum. With gas fees, it ended up being about 0.08. And then after paying the fees on OpenSea, which you do have to pay fees for first listings, and then every additional listing is a little bit less of a fee. But I listed in OpenSea. I got absolutely no bids for the first week or two, and I eventually ended up selling it for 0.4 Ethereum, which was a big increase. Like I said, it was almost 4 to 5x my initial investment. So I ended up making about $1,000 profit on that sale. It sold for about $1,600 at the time when converting Ethereum to USD. But I ended up making about $1,000 profit, which was really cool. I thought that, there was a big opportunity to make money here. And so you can kind of see the project right now. It's not doing too well. There's a lot of them trading pretty much near the floor. So I definitely wouldn't go into this project right now. But I thought that the art was pretty cool. And I thought there was something that was pretty dope, but I can't turn away making 4 to 5x on my initial investment, so I had to sell it. Luckily, someone bought it right before the floor crashed, and that's how I made my money. So if you really want to go into minting NFTs, if you want to get into minting NFTs, I highly recommend going to a website called rarity.tools, and this is where you can actually see a lot of different upcoming NFT projects that are about to mint. So you can see Alpha Guardians. This is actually on Solana, so you can actually tell what blockchain the project's going to be a part of based on the cryptocurrency. We got some other ones right here. This is Ethereum, Cosmos Ethereum, Swiss Unique Watch Club Ethereum. And I mean, you can basically see a lot of the projects are very similar. I mean, the Santa project's pretty basic. It looks like they're just trying to ride on the Christmas hype. Who knows what's going to happen with this project. This one looks pretty cool, Goblin Army, and essentially there are tens if not hundreds of projects dropping every week. So this one looks cool. But yeah, I mean, I would definitely go from there. Look at different projects that you think are personally cool, and then when you think you do find a project that you think is really cool, definitely start looking into that, doing some research to see if it's definitely worth minting. Maybe try getting on a whitelist or pre-sale, and then from there, if you really want to mint it, go for it. And then I highly recommend either flipping immediately, because usually a lot of the prices will drop either after the project reveals, or long term a lot of projects don't last. So I actually got lucky. Like I said before, I only held it short term, flipped my Astro and made about 4 times my initial investment. But I definitely recommend doing your research, making sure that you either want to flip it immediately or you want to hold it long term and be a part of the community. That's something that really depends on you. And that's essentially how I made $1,000 my first week of NFTs. That was about, like I said before, middle of November. That's when I first started getting into NFTs. I'm a lot more into NFTs now. I've had my fair share of wins and losses, and I'll definitely make some more videos about that in the future. But yeah, so to conclude, if you want to make some money in NFTs, or you want to make a quick buck in the NFT world, try minting specific projects that you think are pretty interesting, and then go from there. Try flipping them. Hopefully you get a rare one. I ended up getting one with a couple of rare traits, and you can actually check that on another website called Rarity Sniffer. That's where I actually check the rarity, but you can also check on Rarity Tools. And mine ended up being, I think it was within the 300th ranking out of the 8,000 NFTs that were launched, or 8,851 to be exact. And I ended up getting pretty lucky, and so I managed to flip that, and that's how I made my money. But before I go, remember, this is not financial advice. These results are not typical, so definitely realize the risk that you're taking when actually minting certain NFT projects. You could lose a lot of money, you could make a lot of money, but that's just part of the game. If you like the video, please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithms. Consider subscribing, commenting. Let me know if you've made any money with NFTs in the past couple weeks or months, and I'll see you guys later.